Good morning. I'm showing you my 1990 Mazda Miata MX-5. 1990 was the first year for the Mazda Miata. This is chassis and NA is what Miata speak will tell you. There's currently 4 generations of Miatas. This was the first generation, the original, first year. Very common color, classic red. You know, you make the joke, oh, it's a rare color, it's the classic red. But you know what? I think it looks good. I think the classic red looks great on these cars. And I think, you know, the Miata gets a pass if it's a classic red. But anyway, the car is definitely a driver. It's nice. It's been my everyday summer driver for the last 2 years. I bought this car a little over 2 years ago in Springfield, Massachusetts. My cousin drove out there with me. I found it on Craigslist. I don't want to give you the whole story, but it was posted on Craigslist. The guy went away on vacation for 2 months. I had left him a phone message. Gentleman, I'd say late 50s, early 60s. Spanish, Cape Verdean, I believe. Had a vacation home down there and put the car up for sale. He was driving it every day for the last couple of years before I bought it. I think the car's had 4 owners. I'm the 4th owner, possibly 5th, but I believe it's 4th owner since new. The car overall, I'd say you know, I lovingly call it a 10-footer. It presents well, it drives nice, it cleans up nicely, but it's not perfect. It's got some flaws. I bought this as a project car, kind of. At the time, I had my hatchback that I drive every day, and then I had my other Honda, and I wanted something else. I wanted to add a Miata into the mix because I just love these, and you know, Miata is always the answer. So my question was, I want another car. I want it to be cheap, fun, reliable, somewhat easy to work on, and I bought this thing. Let me show you some closer photos. The paint, it's been repainted at some point. I think the previous owner told me that it had lived in Florida before. That's another thing I should talk about. It's fairly rust-free. It's got a few small trouble spots, and it's got a couple areas, but overall it looks pretty nice. The passenger side is really nice on this car, I think. Pretty straight. The bumper, if you see there, the car is gloss. The bumper is a replacement bumper because the previous one had a crack in it. Right under the driver's side taillight, there was a big crack that ran down here. I think the previous owner had a little boo-boo with this thing, and it resulted in a cracked bumper. So I found that bumper on Craigslist and put it on there. It has the very desirable factory hardtop. I personally bought this car specifically because it came with the hardtop. The gentleman I bought it from said that all of his calls were because this thing had the hardtop, and as you know, they're desirable. To go racing, club racing in these, it required that the car have the factory hardtop. I personally didn't go racing with this car. This was my everyday driver / project. I never autocrossed it. It does have some nice upgrades in it though, to make it a more fun car. And what it lacks in perfect exterior presentability, I tell you, it's mechanically solid. This car drives so nice. It's on the stiff side. It has Coney shocks. I installed Coney shocks. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a good picture through the wheels, but maybe you can see it there. All 4 corners. Has NB wheels, second generation Miata, 15-inch wheels. I have the stock Daisy wheels, and it could come with the car, you know, for the right price. It has the R package aero. That aero includes the rear spoiler. This car didn't originally come with the rear spoiler. I added that. And also the rear under spoiler, which a lot of guys don't have. And this is an OEM one. and you know, it has the R front spoiler, and there was some items that the previous owner didn't have on here that I've corrected since I've had it. I have nice crystal clear OEM turn signals. These fog up. The originals on this were waterlogged. I replaced the Mazda logo. I've been told that this Mazda logo might be 2 inches over to the right. The Mazda forum members scolded me on that. You know, they were quick to point out that where I replaced the factory style decal on the car was not to their specification. So I apologize if you are one of those people that were offended. Let's get back to the hardtop here. The hardtop, I don't remove it very often, I gotta be honest. So I know one of the questions that people might ask me about is the soft top. I've had the soft top up in this car twice. And I'm really not a soft top kind of guy. I like this car because it has the hard top, and that's what I used. The previous owner told me that the soft top is weather tight. So let me show you inside. Overall, I think the car presents very well. When I bought it, was missing those speaker covers. I've replaced those. It has an aftermarket radio. I don't have the stock radio. The car didn't come with it, so I apologize. But the center console is all nice. I have the ashtray as well. You know, locking center console. Climate control. The dash does have a crack, unfortunately. This is the first generation flat top dash, and people love these things for that dash. I do too. But good news is the cluster surround is all intact. It was not when I bought it. I replaced this. Is a nice used one. All tabs are working. All tabs are there. The door panels are nice. It has the factory style pulls. Like I said, the speaker covers were not on there. I put those on. The car currently sits at 173,558 and climbing. I plan to drive this a little bit more. So, the car does not have the original engine. I overheated the original engine. Main Street Auto, a very reputable local shop, did the engine replacement. Oh, let me show. I have the mats under here. I keep these to keep it nice, but yeah, those didn't have it. Very nice. I ordered those off of Rosenthal. The seat has this typical bolster where, you know, I've been trying to find a nice set of used ones. It's not very easy, as you may know. So the passenger seat is nice. It's not worn in that manner, excuse me, but this one does have a little wear. The steering wheel is all nice, not torn or worn. A lot of times these are torn up or worn. So let me start it up. You can hear it run. This thing runs so nice, if I do say so myself. I was just rattling the stick, that's what that sound was, in case you heard it. The motor I replaced the original motor with after I overheated the original was a 90,000 mile motor out of a newer NA. I think it was 92. I'd have to check the receipt. I do have the receipt from Main Street Auto. I'm gonna pop the hood. You can take a look under there. It's not showroom under there, you know, but it's very presentable. It's very clean, I think. Had the timing belt done. Had everything done on this motor. That was 14,000 miles ago. I have all the receipts. I replaced the dipstick. Dipstick was broken when I got it, of course. Replaced the coil pack bracket, spark plugs. I have a K&N filter, but otherwise it's all stock, all freshened up. Very nice shape. Newer hoses. I went through it. VIN tags are all in place. The rear bumper doesn't have the VIN tag, obviously. But, and apologies for my stuttering and my ums. I'm not a professional videographer by any means. You know, I'm just doing this on YouTube because people ask questions. I'm a car guy. Oh, I got to show you the pop-ups. Who doesn't love pop-up headlights, right? Everything works as it should. The horn works. Headlights. Pop-ups. The blower motor does squeal sometimes. I have to mention that. It gets cantankerous. But this is a summertime car for me. I never had the heater on, to be honest with you. Has AC. Not sure how well it works. Gotta be honest with that. I don't know. Might need to be charged. Again, I rarely used it. Let me that raspy exhaust, that's stock. That's not anything I did. Has you know, has all the stock exhaust equipment. Passes inspection, passes safety. It's tight. Like I said, I did the Coney yellows, eye back springs that came with it. So windows are tinted. I found aesthetically, I'm not a big window tint guy, but I found that the hardtop, this big black, this big back window would heat up your neck, and it was, you know, I said, you know what, I'm gonna just tint the car, and it was becoming too hot, so that's the reason the windows are tinted on it. It was an okay job, not that great of a job. Some guy on the message board made these. These were the 1990 Automobile Magazine of the Automobile Magazine Car of the Year, excuse me. Trouble areas. Let me see if I can be as honest as I can be with this car. This is going to be a long video. It's already at 13 and a half minutes. Wow. There's a few trouble areas. I mean, if I'm going to be nitpicky. Like I said, this car had been painted at one point. The paint isn't that great. I mean, you'll have to see it. I'm trying to video it. The hardtop is faded to like a pink. I don't know if that can be brought back, reconditioned. It might have to be repainted. I thought of actually color wrapping it. The vine, a red that matches my car, just wrapping that. And it might be cheaper than paint and easier, you know. So that's an option, but I'm trying to be honest. There's some paint that went bad here by it almost looks like a little white scuff. I assure you that's not a scuff, that's just always white. This quarter panel's a little wavy. I think this previous owner kind of backed the car, you know, I don't know if he backed something in, or it's just a little bonk right there. Along with this door. Kind of hard to photograph. This, yeah, see that? It's not like that on the other side, but it's not that bad. It's still repairable. You can leave it as is, whatever. I mean, like I said, I have the stock daisies. If you don't like, I like this because I like the bigger 15-inch wheels, better tire sizes. Like I said, the rear bumper, it's a nice unbroken piece, a lot better than what was on there. The red almost matches the hardtop. You got like two shades going on a little bit. I think it could probably be reconditioned. There's nicks and scratches, and you know, it's not a perfect car by any means. But I think the upgrades that I've done and the mods and the overall usefulness makes up for it. This is a car you wouldn't feel bad beating up at the track. I'd hate to I wouldn't want to see somebody do an exo set out of this thing. For those that don't know, an exo set is a Miata. They start with a Miata. See, it's been idling a little while. It's fine. It runs great. An exo set is a Miata that they cut everything off of the car and then use basically just a shell and the motor, and you put different motors on it. This is still a nice driver. The trunk alignment could use some work. I'm pretty firm around $4,000 on this car, 4,000. I know people are going to want to lowball me, but I'm not going to sell this car just to get rid of it. I'd like it to find a good home. It's been a fun little project. I took this car, it had some issues, and I think I turned it around. I think I did a good job, and I hope the person that drives this going forward, if it does leave me, or when it leaves me, you're probably not going to know all the little things I did to this thing to make it better, from those fogged up lights to the rear spoilers and replaced the bumper. A lot of the interior was shoddy on this thing when I got it. Like I said, the gauge hood was all broken. It didn't have the mats. Had some really bad radio in it. The speaker panels were missing, like I said. The steering wheel was terrible. It was like this beat up leather. This one's really nice. I bought it off a local kid who was too tall to fit in his Miata. Had to put an aftermarket wheel, and this came out of his low mile Miata, so it's a beautiful leather. Very nice. I mean, it's not perfect, it's not fresh out of the bag, but it's really nice, not worn and torn. OEM shift boot. I bought this center console out of a car that a gentleman on the Cape had parted. He told me that these parts had come out of a Texas car. It's really nice, really low mile. It's from a later model NA. I still have the original, but it has the shift indicator. Thought it was pretty neat. Like I said, the floor mats are clean, brand new. I bought them from Rosenthal. I bought a lot of parts from Rosenthal. Little miscellaneous parts, like the prop rod holder was broken, and I repaired that. You're gonna have to take my word for it that it drives really nice. If you're interested in the car and you have cash in hand, you can drive it, but I don't have any kind of mount, so I'm gonna turn this off. Thank you for watching, and be in touch.